Does anyone that's here, has anyone played with the Twitch API? That's what we're going to do today. And I've got a couple of different ways to do that. And there's a couple of packages that I found. I've just basically watched like a couple of YouTube videos in the last like hour or two. Like I didn't want to come into this super prepared. I wanted this to be kind of like we learn together and me really learn, and hopefully that's a good thing. And I think after this, I might create like an official YouTube video that's more streamlined on how to do it and set it up. But yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Looks like Corey has worked in C Sharp, and it's been an experience. Yeah, hopefully the basic stuff doesn't look too bad here in JavaScript, so I'm looking forward to that. Sweet. I mean, at that point, I guess we'll go ahead and dive in. So, if you have any other experience or thoughts or anything, feel free to throw that in the chat. One thing I would like to know also. Sweet, you just did a stream on their API. Cool. So this is kind of fitting, I guess. I saw this one thing. I want people to kind of think about this in the back of their minds. I started reading an article, and I just really read the top, basically building a real world cloud thing from Twitch. So that's fine. But what happened in the very first paragraph of this article? It says a long time ago I built a. Did I say Twitter? If I said Twitter, I meant Twitch. Did I post about Twitter? Hopefully I didn't say that wrong. It's supposed to be Twitch. Hopefully I said that right. Okay, cool. All right, so Twitch it is. If at any point I said Twitter, that was a mistake. Okay. Hopefully Chris stays, even though he's disappointed it's not the Twitter API. But this article starts by talking about how they built a Twitch Plays 2048 game, and if you haven't seen 2048, I was like addicted to this game for months. Like when I would ride the subway in New York City, I would just sit on the subway and play 2048 like months at a time. And it's a really simple one, but like the strategy actually gets pretty I don't know, pretty cool after you play it for a while. I love this game. It's really cool. It's super simple. So all the controls are just like left, right, up, and down. Obviously, really simple. So what this guy did is he used Twitch chat to like take the chat commands and play a game of 2048, which is insanely cool. Like that is mind-blowingly cool for me. That's the kind of cool stuff that I just want to like put some random stuff together and see what happens. So longer term, maybe depending on how quickly we're moving through the stream, we might figure out how to build something that is interactive based on the actual commands in the chat. We'll see how far we get, but I think that would be an ideal and like a really badass demo to do. All right, so I'm gonna close that one out. The two different ways that I've basically found, and if you have any other ideas, feel free to jump in. One is the TMI. I don't actually. What does it stand for? Like I'm sure it's not too much information, or maybe it is. I don't know. Oh, Twitch messaging interface TMI. Okay. So this is a JavaScript library for TMI, and looks like if you're working in Node, which we will, and I'll explain why in a second. You can install the package, create your client, call connect, and then when a message, you can basically define a handler for when a message comes through. So when a message comes through, you can basically look at the message. So hopefully people in the chat will be active and send me messages so that we can test this out as we're going. And then based on that, like you can do anything you want. So you could check for if like a chatbot scenario where I could check for my own specific action. So if you say, I don't know what it like, give Lily a command or something. Like Lily is, can you see her back there? Lily's sitting on the couch back here, and maybe it's make Lily do a trick. So every time someone says that command, I can respond back with like, all right, I'll give her whatever it is. I don't know. So you can check to see what the message is, and then you can respond back and actually say something in the message. So if someone joins, I think, for example, I could just say a welcome to the chat type thing. Oh, cool. Corey, yeah, thank you. I totally have a whole design thing planned back here. I just haven't actually like gotten into it, but the create I thought was cool, and then do more of what makes you happy. I really enjoy also. And then I've got the letters that are back there on the floor. If you maybe can see them past the chair, they're just kind of down the floor. These white letters from Michael's that I'm going to spell out learn, build, teach, which is like part of my brand and something that I'm pretty passionate about. So ideally, that's going to be like a big learn, build, teach thing, but I got to figure out what it's all going to look like and everything. So yeah, I'm really happy with it. I've done so much in this office the last like year or so. All right, I'm just going to kind of dive in. So tmi.js, I'm going to, I think this is this not in full screen? There we go. I've got a just a folder created. I haven't done anything with it yet except for create a .env file for an auth token that you will have to get. I'll show you when and where in a second. But you'll have to get an auth token to integrate with the Twitch API. And I'm specifically doing this with Node right now, not front-end JavaScript, for that reason, because you don't want those credentials to go to your front-end JavaScript because people can grab those and then they can go do whatever they want with that token. So you don't want to do that. And then in the .getignore, in case I end up checking this into a repo, I'm just ignoring any .env files. Cool. So I'm just going to create a new file in the workspace root called app.js, and we will install. And if you're new to Node or have questions, feel free, throw them in the chat, and I will make sure to try to address them. But let's do an npm install of tmi.js. So we want to grab that package. And then we want to install the .env package. The .env package allows me to reference environment variables from local .env files during testing. Like when you actually deploy something, those environment variables will live in the host somewhere in the server. In testing right now, they'll just be in that .env file. So just install both of those, and the first thing early on, not that, whatever that was, first thing is just to, gosh, what is that IntelliSense? Require the .env package. And it may be a function. I need to double check this actually. Let's look at .env down here, package. So to do this, .config, so you call the config function. Okay. So again, this is just facilitating the fact that I can use those environment variables. So my IntelliSense VS Code broke a few streams ago, and then one day just started working again. I don't know. Occasionally I get some IntelliSense things that are not what I'm looking for at all, and I don't know. I'm assuming there's some way to go and like exclude certain packages or like namespaces or whatever, but I haven't actually like dug into it, so I'm not sure. But glad it's working again. That sucks that you had issues with it. Yeah. All right, so then we have tmi.js. I'm just going to copy this whole thing. I mean, this is our starting off snippet. I'll kind of walk through my interpretation of what it's doing. Let's give ourselves a little more space here. All right, so we get the TMI object from the TMI package. So we do that require. HP and Supernatural posters on the wall. Yes, the problem is I had my Harry Potter posters. Actually, hold on one second. I had like this set of posters on the wall. The problem is they have glares and it messes with the light. So that's why I started to move to something that didn't have a glare. So I'm still trying to figure it out. So if you have any way around that, I'm down. No, I get it. I loved them. Those are some of my favorite things. But have some Star Wars prints that I love, and yeah. So apparently there's like some anti-glare stuff that you can like spray on cases. I haven't tried it, so maybe if somebody wants to, you could try that out. All right, in this code, I've required tmi.js. I've got the TMI object, and then, and this is pretty typical, anytime you create like a Twitter client, for example, using the Twitter, whatever that npm package is, a Trello client, whatever client you're working with to interface with a given product's API. No, that time I actually meant Twitter. Just saying if in the hypothetical, but whenever you do that, you usually create a client and you pass it some sort of configuration object. So usually that's like an API key of some sort of credentials. In this case, what we're looking at is these things that I don't know what these are right offhand. Options of a debug true, connection, reconnect true, that makes sense. Secure, that makes sense. And then identity, so this is username and password. Password being the auth token that you would get from, let's see if they have it in here, to get your auth token. Well, it's on this other page that I can show you. So to get a Twitter chat auth token, you can go to this endpoint, log in with Twitch, and it will give you an auth token. That's the thing that I'm hiding from you so no one else sees it, and that's the thing that actually like validates that you are this user talking to the Twitch API. So I've already done that. That is in my .env file, and I need to double check. I'm just going to pull this off screen really quickly and double check what the name of that variable is. So Twitch auth code and Twitch username. All right, now we're back on. So on here, what I want to do is get process.env. Geez, that IntelliSense is not right either. I don't know process. That's terrible. I wonder if there was, Corey, I wonder if there's an update that came that like changed some of this stuff. I don't know. So Twitch auth client. And then this one is, actually that's not right. Is that what I said it was? Can someone confirm that's what I said the name of that variable was? And this one was processenv.twitch username. Yeah, I don't know. All right, just one last time. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a copy of the .env and then paste it in here and then get rid of the actual credentials and just call this .env example. This way, I could, in theory, check this thing out, and then I could see what the different keys are for the values that I'm using. So I could leave this checked in, don't check in my actual .env file, and then this is the property that we're looking for here. So this will go in the user. Nope, this will go in. Oh, I did these totally backwards. This will go down here, the process.env. And this one was Twitch username. Is that what I said? That's the hardest part, is remembering what you call these things. Twitch username. All right. And then the last one is the Twitch channel. And I assume, does anybody know right offhand? I assume this will be like my username also. Like that's the channel that I'm trying to connect to is my username, I think. Brad, what's going on? Thanks for being here. Brad, we just connected on Twitter, and you mentioned something. You watched recent YouTube video and commented, and thanks for the feedback on what was that about? On the shortcuts being highlighted in VS Code, which I don't like. I think in general. Anyway, so there's for those of you who may or may not use it, there's like the screencast mode in VS Code, and then as I click, you can see my cursor and hold down shortcuts like Command C, and it pops up. In theory, that's useful for people that are watching, but I feel like it's more distracting. I don't know. Curious what other people think. And actually, I could, yeah, I like in theory, I definitely agree. I feel like as a consumer, it's like more distracting than useful. I don't know. That's just kind of my initial interpretation for me. I'm fine without it all. Yeah, I mean, I need to get feedback from more people to see what they think. And it's also like it's distracting for me watching, but also for me recording, it's a little bit distracting. If you use interesting keyboard, just call it out. Yeah. So since my username is the same as my channel, I'm just using that same processenv twice. So I don't know what this self return is. Maybe it's if I send a message. I'm not sure. But what I'm going to do, I'm just going to start by logging out the channel and the message. I don't know how tags work in here. I don't know what the self property is. I'm just hacking this away. So what I'm going to do, I think this is ready. This is basically all just boilerplate code from the documentation. Get the environment variables using .env, grab the TMI object, create or initialize that thing with options, which use the variables from the process env, and then connect it. And then basically we're finding a callback here for when a message comes through, call this function. Inside of this function, we're checking for self. I don't know what that is, so I'll leave it for now. And then I'm just going to log out the channel and the message itself. How many people in the chat do any sort of node development at all? Like done even just a small sample or side project or something? How many people have done some node before? By the way, we've got some new people in the chat. Live with Tyler he's actually on my team, and he is starting up his Twitch. First stream Tuesday, April 7th. I don't remember the time, so feel free to shout that out in the chat as well. Aiton and Dead Wisdom and Jacko Offigetics and Sloth Guesser. Cool. Yeah, Tyler, if you want to, feel free to throw your channel in there, and then people can just follow you from your link here as well. Just followed. Nice. Yes, Corey, you won't regret it. This is part of our trying to get on Twilio's level of streaming is what our goal is. So this is Tyler is part of that initiative as well. So I'm going to run this. A lot of people might just do like Node and app.js. If you've done that, that will run the server, and it will basically anytime I want to update the server, I have to stop it and then restart it. So instead of that, I use a package called nodemon, which will automatically reload the server anytime I save changes. That way I don't have to stop it, start it, stop it, start it. It'll automatically reload, which is I like a lot. It's really nice for me. So it's a global package. You can do an npm install -g to get that package. So I'm going to run this, and somebody in the chat send something. We'll see what happens. Hopefully we see it logged out on the screen here. And I don't know something. Ha! Look at that. Something. Okay, so channel is just my channel name. Okay, so that's pretty obvious. Whoa. Cool. I like that reaction. That's fun. Also, one of the things I've been trying out here if I can get to it, I think I set this up right. You ready for this? From the Stream Deck, which is pretty sweet. Clapping sounds, right? Isn't that cool? I just set that up. So, by the way, I would remove show keyboard and mouse interactions. I'm just going to call you Jack, unless you can give me a phonetic pronunciation for that. Jack, is that part of the toggle screencast mode? Are you saying you don't like it? I'm not sure exactly what you're saying. Or are you saying you can customize it as well so that you don't show some of that stuff? Cool. So we're getting I mean, that's like half the battle right here, or at least part of it. I want to check. Let's just do tags and self just to see what these things are. Somebody sent another message for me in the chat. Oh wow, so one of these things is really big. Okay. Yes, I would remove Yakko. Got it. Okay, cool. Thank you. I would remove screencast mode. So interesting. So that's part of the feedback. That's so far we've gotten kind of 50-50. Like some people really like it, some people don't. Right now I don't. So I am going to turn it off. But I think there might be a lot of people who will like it, so I'm kind of debating about it. But thanks for your feedback. So it looks like the tags is an object itself. So inside of here, so I guess that's about the person. Tag seems like a terrible name for that. So like display name, the ID of that person, the room ID, whether or not they're a subscriber. Yakko, you should definitely subscribe. Now we just put it on blast that you're not a subscriber in this information. I don't know what turbo is. I see the username, message type of chat. I don't know what other types there would be. And then false, I wonder if false is just whether or not it's actually me sending it. What are you planning to do with the Twitch API? I don't know. That's where Crazy Pizza, welcome by the way. If you have any suggestions, feel free to chime in. Right now I'm just hello worlding, like getting access to the chat messages. long term, what I would like to do is build something that is interactive, like a website that's interactive and is controlled by people in the chat. So that's all I can give. Sorry, no worries. That's cool. Um, then, and by the way, I don't know if that. I want to specify because I don't want that to be awkward. That I was like, you should subscribe. I I don't mean a paid subscribe, and I think I need to watch my Twitter like language. That's not what I mean. I'm not asking people to give me money. So let me like back up real quick. That's not what I mean at all. I meant like follow. I'm still learning how this like subscriber thing works. And if you felt like I was asking you to give me money, that's not what I'm asking for at all. It was completely a joke. So disregard that if that's how that was interpreted. All right. So this equals follow. Cool. Thank you. I appreciate that. So what do you plan to do? Yeah. So I want to eventually build something like some sort of website that is like demonstratable to show that people in the chat are controlling it. I don't know what that is. But I think that would be super cool to have something in real time that people are able to control on a website of some sort. So that's kind of the idea, and I'm just kind of stumbling around with the API right now. Cool. So this is fun. Tons of square divs. People get to pick colors. I think keep throwing that out there. X, Y is coordinate. Yeah. I'm thinking like people can put like a bang left or bang right, bang up, bang down, and like almost like a game of Snake or something. Like I've wanted to build a JavaScript Snake game, so it'd be cool to like control Snake with chat. And unless people are being super active, like we're gonna get screwed and lose really fast. But it's cool. So keep that stuff in the back of your mind as we go through this. All right, so it looks like self. I'm gonna try this real quick. If I type in this is a message from me, now that actually did show up. Okay, I was thinking self was just going to be a flag that says whether or not I sent the message. Seems like that's not the case. Twitch can beat Pokemon, great things can happen. Did it actually beat Pokemon? Like the same general idea, but they actually beat Pokemon? That's pretty insane. I'd bet yourself is the bot user. Oh, okay. All right, so I think, yes, that makes sense. So, and I'm not really. It's interesting. I'm not necessarily thinking of myself as a bot because I just like authenticated myself as myself. I don't think of myself as a bot. So let's test this out. I think what you're saying is if I come down and I'm on the wrong page here, I need to go to this one and I do a client.say. All right. So if I do this, which means I'm going to say something. So let's say if message equals go James, then I'm going to say, I don't know, here I go. All right, so does everybody, like, just partially for me to double check my understanding too, does everybody understand what's going on here? I think I'm going to check to see if the message says go James. If it does, I'm going to respond back with here. It worked. Oh, wow. So yeah, if you say go James, my thing will automatically respond back with here I go. And then let's do inside of this thing. Maybe log console log. Well, I'm not sure. How do I check stop James? I'm not actually sure what I want to check here. I was gonna check self, but self is obviously gonna be true. Okay, so I don't think I need to test that. I think the understanding is correct. So the what we're trying to do is prevent if my bot sends a message, I don't want it to handle itself in this onClick or this like handler and then send another message and get into this infinite cycle. So I think that's what that's for. Corey, thanks for figuring that out or suggesting it. Maybe you went through this on Tuesday in C#. Cool. So I am the bot. I think what people would probably do in this case is else if message or like a switch statement. Else is stop James, and then say a different thing. So I'm stopping. Jeez. We have a separate bot account and it was messing up my passwords. Okay, interesting. Um, try stop James again. Stop James. I'm stop. Okay, cool. That like I feel like that's badass. That works really easy. That's nice. Hmm. We had another win, so we can do a clap. There's the clap, and then I also found this one. Hold on one second. This. Can people hear that? It's probably super low in the mic. I probably need to figure out a way to stream that like actually into OBS. I bet. Hold on. Where I don't even know what speakers that's coming from. Actually, I don't know. It's soft but hilarious. Does anyone know how to pipe? Like I'm using the Stream Deck, and I guess I could just add like an audio source in Streamlabs and then trigger it. I'm not sure. Anyway, new audio source, and yeah, I don't even know what this thing is coming out of. I don't know. Is it my? I guess that's my computer speakers. So yeah, I can figure that out later on. But sweet. So at this point, any questions and or suggestions on what we do? And I'm gonna try out. There's another library that a friend of mine was telling me about called Comfy.js, which Brian is like literally speaking of the devil, which in a good way, Brian. Um, I literally was just saying, Brian, that I'm gonna switch over and try the Comfy.js package, and yeah, like perfect promotional timing. I'm gonna try out the Comfy.js package next. I just did the TMI package, which I'm assuming the Comfy.js package is based on, although I'm not sure about that. So I'm gonna go ahead and switch over and try Comfy. Sweet, Sam just joined. Awesome. What's up, Sam? Thanks for rating. Sam is another member on our amazing DevRel team at Auth0. You can check him out, subscribe to him. Sam is also doing the official Auth0 stream on Tuesday, this coming Tuesday, April 7th. And you should check it out. So the Auth0 channel, you can go and follow them at Auth0, AUTH0. And yes, we've got me, Tyler, Sam, and then you'll see a lot of our other people on as well. Chris says, still don't understand what rating is. I had no idea what the hell this was until someone told me. But let's say Brian was streaming and Brian had a few people left in his stream when he finished. He can raid over to my channel and basically bring everyone with him from his channel to mine. So it's a way of like showing support. It's really cool. Like if you get someone that has 100 people and you usually have like 10 and they raid your channel, that's like a huge thing, right? To be able to show support for people as we're all growing. So anyway, that's what raiding is. So it looks like Sam and Brian just finished up some streams and then came over. Brian, I thought you like didn't you start at the same time? Didn't you start it while my son napped? Okay, did he wake up from a nap and then like break the stream? Okay, gotcha. Sweet. So we got a bunch more people in here. Welcome everyone that's new. Really cool to have you. Just decided to not be in. Okay, gotcha. All right, so we've got a chat client working, which is cool. I'm going to scrap all of this code just because I've heard that Comfy is so cool and Brian's here. He can walk us through anything that we want to do. So Comfy.js is created by, what's his name? InstaFluff, who is extremely popular on um, on Twitch. So he created this package just to make it easier for people to integrate Twitch stuff into their channel. So let's just start on this. I'm going to install that package, and while that is running, and by the way, I think I mentioned this earlier, but I didn't finish the statement. So like the layout that you see in the stream with like the video and the stream stuff, or the desktop and like the social icons, what do you think about that layout? I feel like it could be more exciting, but I'm kind of figuring out what I want to do. So if you have any feedback or thoughts on that, please let me know and throw that in there. All right, I'm just copying a snippet from Comfy.js documentation, and I accidentally pressed copy on nothing, so I got nothing. Hold on. There we go. So same kind of thing. You create the comfy thing, and then I guess the difference here, well, yeah, you do. So yeah, he's just doing the init after the fact. So a couple of things I'm gonna change. I like to do the init beforehand, like at the top on command is different from on chat. Go grab on chat. Okay. What are commands in this case specifically, Brian? Is command a general thing and like it could be, or is command like the exclamation command or slash? Are they different? I'm not sure. All right. While probably exclamation command. Okay. So if we want to grab all of the on just on chat, so just copy this. You can probably specify what leading character to use. Okay. Um, so we do this, and dead wisdom, welcome. And command equals test. So any idea what the broadcaster? Actually, I'm just gonna copy. Let's just start with this. Let's start with this little snippet just to read these little messages. All right. Later, going to learn about React. What the hell is a React portal? Is that a thing I should know about? Um, Anyway, Brad, thanks for being here. Appreciate it. And Corey's running also. We got a Twilio stream popping up later. Y'all check out the Twilio stream. They are really, really good at what they do, so check them out. What time, Corey, this afternoon? Make sure that people can see that. And while you're typing that, I'm going to run this new app with the Comfy package, and somebody send another message real quick. This is part of the like, you must participate. Yo. All right, that looks like it. Oh, that's because my Twitch channel is not my Twitch channel. My Twitch channel is James Q Quick. All right, that should reload. Brian sent me another one, or somebody. All right, Brian says woot. Cool, so that works. So there's the user is the username. Great. And then message. Sweet. Thanks everyone for chiming in. By the way, I love doing stuff where it's like interactive. That's why I want to build like a game that's controlled by, or something that is controlled by Twitch. So the Twilio stream is at 6:30 Eastern. We've got a game show going live called Bubble Sort. It's gonna be crazy. Wow, that seems fun. Man, we gotta get like, I feel like our big brothers at Twilio on their streaming stuff. They've got it put together. So definitely check them out. Momtastic, hello, what's going on? If you can ever figure out emote works, let me know. I still don't really know what emotes are. So I probably wouldn't make them work per se. Which Brian's gonna kill me for saying that, but all right. So yeah, I kind of know what they are in terms of like how to actually use them and stuff. I don't. And Brian said he was gonna create my emote for me if I didn't do it, and I haven't done it. So maybe that's my way of like offloading my work to you. For what it's worth, I feel like I have learned a lot about Twitch in the last couple weeks, and I spent some time working on Streamlabs, which I got set up yesterday and today, so that was cool. And then working with the Stream Deck and stuff. So anyway, I'm learning, but it's like it's just such a big world out there of all this stuff. So all right, so this is more or less like at this point what I would want to accomplish. I'm thinking about I could create an Express app and I could serve. Well, sorry, we got a question here from Yakko. How do you pass the .env variables to the app? I always do it the dumb way, like port equals 3000. Oh, yeah, cool. So this will be great for you. So because I installed the .env package and put this statement at the top, what it's going to do is grab variables inside of a local .env file, the one I have here that I won't open because it's got private stuff in it, and it will load those basically into your application in the same way that you do, but you do it manually. So what that means is by doing this one statement, I have access to process.env.x, whatever the variable is, just like you will use in your production application. So usually when you deploy to something like Heroku, they will have an environment variables section, and you will be able to, like, in a GUI, put your environment variables in there and then access them on process.env. So that should be like a game changer for you if you're typing them in manually every time. Brian, thanks for coming. Thanks for the raid. Have funs with the have fun with the food and all of that stuff. And actually, I was gonna pivot, but one thing I forgot to do is right now, I'm just listening for chats. But to actually respond to a chat, I need to initialize. Let's see where. Have to check out the .env package. Yeah, definitely do. Where do I initialize this thing with my actual auth token? That's what I'm looking for. Extra parameter if you're doing sending chat messages. Here we go. So here, this is what I'm looking for. All right. Pizza sounds good for dinner. Some of the, I guess you probably don't have the Detroit pizza in Denver, huh? Chris, you're in Denver right now, right? All right. While we're doing that, so I think my variables are Twitch user and Twitch auth token. Yeah, we do. Remember I showed you the, yeah, is that what you're getting tonight, the Blue Pan pizza? Because it looked dope. Inside of here, so I don't know if you caught what I just did. Sweet, that's cool. What I just did here was now I initialized comfy.js using process.env with my Twitch user and then my auth token, which you can't see, but it's there. And so hopefully that still works, so it's no response from Twitch, maybe not. Let's see, make sure I call these things the right thing. Twitch username and Twitch auth code. So Twitch user, one word name. So that should connect, hopefully. Cool. And then inside of here, I could do something like, what did he say? Comfy.js dot say, and then hello. And this is going to respond back to every message, so this might get, if people send a bunch. But somebody sent a message real quick just to see if that go, cannot send anonymous message. Okay, so what is that function? You have to say, did I not do that right? Is that not right? So comfy.js say, and then a string, right? Cannot send anonymous message. Does he do anything else in there? No. I'm not sure why that's an anonymous message. And Brian just got off, unfortunately. I'm going to change, I'm just going to copy the snippet. I don't think it's any different. If it's test, if command equals test, replying to, okay, so this would be, is your token right for a new URL or whitelisted is my token? So I did this earlier with, Brian, I did this earlier with the other API and it worked with the same credentials. So let me just double check. Twitch auth token. Twitch, oh, auth code. Dang it. Auth code. That's what it is, probably. All right, one more time. Somebody send a message. I need like a waiting sound in here too. Okay, so there it is. Reply came through. Sweet. So now I'm authenticated, and it's only responding to the command of test, which I assume, like a command, it's basically just stripping off the exclamation and taking what's left. So I could just look at like if the message equals something, do something. All right. I'm thinking right now, and I don't know the best way to do this. And Brian, if you have a second to stick around, let me know. If I wanted to create a chat client where in a browser application I display the chats that are coming in, just in JavaScript or something. Like you can't include your auth code, although I think people do, but you're not supposed to include your auth code in your front end JavaScript. So how would I get around creating a JavaScript application that can interact with the API and update or display all the chats? What I'm thinking, and this seems like overkill, what I'm thinking is WebSockets, and so I'll have to look into that too. I was gonna say shrinking, but sitting down because my legs are tired. We could set up WebSockets in Node and be able to stream. So like, It would basically like stream the chats to Node, and then Node would stream to the front end. Hasura for some stuff. I don't even know what that is. I might have to look at what that is. But yeah, I think my initial thought was having to set up WebSockets of some sort. So here's kind of a question: Are people interested in? Would you be interested in doing that using WebSockets to be able to display chat on just like a basic JavaScript page or like a basic website that we serve from Node? Any takers or opinions? And I'm gonna look up. I don't know what the Hasura is. What is Hasura? Display wouldn't be a big deal and wouldn't need auth. Oh, true. Yeah, you're right, Brian. Um, yeah, you're totally right. Um, okay, yeah, I'm totally overthinking that. The ID isn't secret. The ID isn't secret. What do you mean by the ID specifically? Um, the fact that I don't need auth totally makes sense. So I'm thinking I might just jump over to a JavaScript app and use that. But I'm not sure what you mean by the ID specifically. Um, the non-auth thingy. The username or the actual what? Are you talking about the username or the actual auth code? I there's not an app ID in here that like the only two things I'm using right now are my username and the auth code. So the auth code definitely shouldn't be in JavaScript. So I'm thinking we just build like a little chat client, and yeah, I think that'd be fun. Any takers opinions on building that out? And then I think longer term, um, I want to build like a game of some sort that gets controlled by the chat. Oh, you can read without the auth. Yeah, so if you look at um, actually what we did first, so if I just Command Z through a bunch of this stuff and go back to what we had at first, where we just init with my username. So if you send a chat, you can read the chat regardless. So that's kind of interesting. Yeah, if I send a yeah, you have to log in to send the chat. Yeah, so we can read chats all day long. If I want to respond as a like chat bot, then you have to authenticate. So doesn't seem like anyone has any particular like opinions on how we do it. So yeah, I'm just gonna start and build a yeah, two different apps. Build a chat client just because I kind of want to do that. And it seems like I think people kind of think of it as like a rite of passage type thing. So I'm gonna actually get out of all of this, and I'm going to create an index.html, not HTML. I don't know what that is. Fix this HTML. How many people in VS Code knew that bang is an Emmet extension for an HTML boilerplate? Did you know that? Super handy. Twitch chat app. Cool, Chris. Yeah, it's one of the best. I literally, if you put me in a room and was like, write this stuff from scratch, I literally had no idea how to do it. You can use your HTML browser as source. Yeah, so eventually I think I'll get to that. Cool. So let's grab. Yeah, I use Emmet all the time. Let's grab. I think he had like an HTML section in here to get started. So he's pulling in the package through a CDN. So let's go and grab that script. And so I feel like I should know the answer to this question at this point, but now like he's got the script in the head, and we used to like make sure that scripts were at the end of the body. I guess I guess at this point, like you can import the script. It'll just take that much more time potentially before your actual HTML starts to load and display. Anybody have a really technical answer on the impact of ordering this script up here? I do not. Depends on when it loads and when you interact with the DOM. So like right now, with this script being listed first, it's gonna wait for that script to be downloaded before it actually starts displaying any HTML, right? So for my overlays title. So you were doing an event listener for like DOM ready or whatever it is. Okay. So like, I mean, is there any reason not to just put this at the end, right? Because then when I add my script tag, when I add my script of app.js, which I'll write in a second, then I know by the time I get to app.js, this script has already been loaded, right? So I don't really have to worry about it. Just kind of curious why I did that. Twitch chat app document add DOM content loaded, and I wonder if I even have to do that when I pull them in this way. I'll test it out and see. And then I want to add an app. Nope, not that. App.js. Oh, I've already got it. Let's see. Let's do this the really hacky way. App2.js. Yeah. Actually, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to rename this one to server.js and then create an app.js. And I can close down my previous one. 75% of the time, I fancy SVG text change. 25% it errored. With the app.js at the bottom. Okay, so I'll see if I have any issues, and then if I do, then I'll switch it up to or wrap everything. So you just wrap the entire like app.js in that, huh? Another thing people should use if you're not already is the live server extension. Oh, on the server it didn't work. Okay. With the live server extension installed, you can open this file with a live server, and it will open up and it will have an auto reloading server for us to see, which is sweet. All right, so that works. I guess I'm going to, let me grab, where's his, not that one, but this one. So here's the comfy.js code. And I guess I'm going to go ahead and be safe and wrap everything document dot, what did you say? Add event listener. And this is DOM content. My son decided to make himself and me a snack. That's fine. Good deal. DOM content loaded. And then a call back function. And here I can just say hello. And let's see if that's going to the console. So let's go over to our app and inspect and look at the console, and I see hello. Cool. So that's going there. And then I can paste in the comfy.js code, paste it in comfy.js on command equals same kind of thing, and initialize this with James Q quick. Right, my on load type change, and then everything else waits on user interaction, so not a huge deal. What's the, I think that's the overlay title to my Twitch title. Oh, so you're doing some specific stuff. So that's the overlay title. Okay. All right. So I'm just gonna ignore that for now then. Okay. Cool. So inside of here, what is broadcaster? What is that flag for? Let's see. Broadcaster requires being authorized. So am I the broadcaster? Is that what that means? And actually, I could go ahead and test this out if it's your message. So if I do the .test, then in theory, in the console, I should see test was typed in the chat. Sweet. So from the browser, we got connected too. Super easy. And so let me think through what this is going to be. So Flight Wizard just tried command test. That won't work as I'm learning this, because broadcaster is a flag that's only set for if James Q Quick sends the message. That's right, I think. Cool, it works as expected. Okay, you were testing out for the right reason. Okay, but now I'm gonna let's do it again. So take away that requirement and now send tests in the chat, and it should work now for other people. Sweet. See it here. Any other takers? Nice. ×2. Cool. All right, so that's showing up. So I guess what we'll probably look at is we need an array of messages, and we'll just start adding them to the end. So we'll push on each message to the end. So let's create a global variable const messages equals array, and then if not self, which it didn't seem like I had to. Actually, this is not even a variable for me, so never mind. I'll ignore that. I don't know if you guys can hear. They're doing some work outside. I don't think it's coming through. Hopefully it's not. Um, so inside of here, I can just add messages.push and then the message. And that should keep track of the messages. And then let me stub out inside of here a UL with an ID of messages. All right. So we've got the UL element, and then we'll get it. I've got the shortcut that I wrote that I really love, get ID. So it'll stub out a get element by ID, and then I'm going to call this the messages list is probably a better thing. And then I will update this here, messages list. And probably what we'll do is just say update messages, passing in this new message. So we'll create that new function. So const update messages equals takes in a new message. And then what we'll do is, I've done this before where I just like in vanilla JavaScript just generate up Darty. Yeah, thanks. Just generate an HTML string based on the messages. So I'm going to take my messages variable and then push that new message onto it. And then I guess actually from here I can just append a child element to my messages list. So messages list dot append child, and we need to create that child. And I never remember this. Create DOM element in JavaScript. If anybody knows it right offhand, feel free to throw it in the chat. What's up? What's up, Zelo? Let me see. Zelo, if we have... Oh, thank you for the subscribe. Appreciate that. You already pushed it in. Sweet. Dead Wisdom is all over the place. And this is one of the things, again, that kills me. Zelo or Dead Wisdom, if we have, like, met or talked on Twitter or something, let me know so I put, like, I guess a virtual name to who you are. Just wait. It's Zelo. I'll make James get an emote. This is Kevin. Which Kevin? See, this is where I feel so bad. And thanks for calling out the audio. Oh, Gonzalez, what's up, Kevin? What's going on? See, this is why like I need to make the connection to people and their usernames. Sweet, thanks for coming, man. I appreciate it. How are things at Green Mountain? I'm assuming you're working from home. How are you guys doing? And for people who are still following along with what I'm doing here, with this new incoming message I call update message, or messages, I pass the new message, I add it to the array, I create the li element, I set its inner text to the message, and then I append that child to the list of messages, which is the UL. Kevin says everyone's working from home, VPN issues, all good. Okay, good. I mean, that's all you can ask for at this point. Just so much going on. It's tough times. All right, so this is my overlay, by the way. Sweet. I'll open that up too. Give me that, and let's see what happens here. Can somebody go on the chat and type something so I can see if this is populating? Have to jump off. So it looks like no, it's not, and I appreciate the fact that you tried to hack me. Thank you. The code. Wait, what's the 5756? Are you just typing something? Early wake up tomorrow. Oh, it's 11 o'clock. Wow. Wow. Thanks for being here that late. That's cool. Yakko, thanks for being here, man. Or sorry, I can't assume. I don't know. But really cool that you were here that late. So thanks for coming. All right, so one of these it looks like made it through. Any ideas why we're not seeing other ones? And I can test. Hi just came through. Needs to be, oh, it needs to be a command. Ah, yes, thank you. Um, or does it? Wait, why does it? Update. Is there, does it have to be a command? On, yes, you're right. Yeah, we talked about that before, and then I went back and copied in the wrong, or I backtracked to previous code. All right, cool. So let's look here. So now, salt and burn them. All right, type another one. So it should be on chat. Somebody keep typing. What we got? What we got? Okay, so they're coming as objects. Is the message? It's saving people, hunting things, the family business. That's right. Sam and Dean. My wife has like perfected the Sam when Dean calls them out. That's actually really cool. Who has any idea why? Is this message not a string? I would have thought the message was a string. Am I wrong? Update messages, console log it. Yeah, that's the way to do it. It says brought. So I think because I changed the API, I have actually the wrong the wrong parameters. I think that's why. So let's look at the on chat, and let me just grab the correct parameters. And if we compare them, I bet they are off. So user and then message instead of command. So that's what it is. So message now should be right. Hopefully now we'll see it. So let's see some more chats. Where do we go? This thing. See some more chats in the chat. Test. Again, so many chats. Does it ignore commands? Maybe it does. Okay, so I would have thought that a message was, or I would have thought a command was a message, but it seems like a command is its own thing. So yes, if anybody types in a command, the command starting with a bang will not make it in here. Interesting. That's good to know. Sweet. All right, so a couple of things that that you'd probably want on here. We probably want a max of like however many messages, right? So um, we could cap it at like 10 messages just to make sure it only takes up a certain amount of space. You have two other people listening to you from my office right now. Who is that? Oh, Brian, tell your family I said hi. Oh, and that would be a good thing. I should include the username in there as well. Let's see, user. So can I just do this? Let's do ES6 and just say user. ES6 template literals for the win. So user and then the message and close it out like this. All right, so now we should see the username. Here's a test. Yeah, cool. So that works. Chris? What are you promoting? Shameless plug. Chris is promoting his stream, which I didn't mean to open that in a new window, but whatever. So Salt and Burnham 313. Oh, you got some sick graphics. That's cool. Man, I need a designer and like a marketer to work with me on my stuff. That's cool, man. I like that a lot. Chris, do you have any upcoming streams and or specific content? Yeah, I would appreciate it. I struggle. Like literally my biggest struggle in the world. I tried to code a Discord bot and wanted to use modules and got everything fucked. What went wrong? And what kind of modules wanted to use? Like CSS modules? Curious. TF2 Harik. I'm curious what you were working on specifically. Chris says might be streaming on continuing building out my new blog personal site. Cool. Awesome. Yeah, you should. JS using Node. Okay. So you're trying to use JavaScript modules instead of the I forget which is which. the common JS. Is common JS the ones that are in Node? So you're trying to use JavaScript modules instead of common modules or whatever? I want to export embedded code and switch statements, so I use cases and breaks. I think I might have figured it out. Chris is looking at how to import images in Gatsby. And by the way, this chat is working, so see everything there. So I wanted to export the code. Yeah. Okay. That's funny. All right. So what do we think? Probably the idea of like capping this at a max. So let's do a const max messages. And maybe we'll do this at 15. I don't know, just picking a number. So let's go ahead and push on the message and then say if, well actually let's do this at the end. So let's do this. If the, let's see, if the messages.length is greater than 15, so if we had 15 and then we just added another one, and if I can type a for loop or if loop correctly, like that, then we want to get rid of the first one. So we'll take in the array, so messages.unshift, and unshift I think just removes one by default. And then also we want to remove that li element. So how do you get, so if we take our messages list, can you see like what does child nodes return? Child nodes returns a node list of oh, first child, that'll work. So const message to delete is message list dot first child. Is that a function or a property? First child property. Okay, so first child and property. Yep. So how, like with this thing to delete, what, there's not like a remove API. Is that like, oh, that removes a child. How do you remove itself? Oh, then you use the parent to remove that child. So then you go messages list dot remove child and then pass it message to delete. Does that make sense? It seems kind of confusing. Goddamn programming forces you to think with reasons, which makes your brain hurt differently. Yeah. Does this make sense what I'm doing? And also, does it make sense in the sense of, is it actually going to work? Hopefully, we'll see. By the way, my wife, depending on when she leaves, might be home in a little bit. If anybody wants to meet my wife, let me see. Let me open up my messages. Hopefully, it'll open up on a different. Nope, it opened up right there. Didn't want to show that. Sorry about that. And let's see when she's going to be home. Are you headed home? Listen, I'm new. Everyone doesn't make sense to me. That's okay. Doesn't make sense. So one comment, you want messages.shift. What does unshift do? Oh, actually, inserts. If you call it with an empty, so that just put, okay, gotcha. You're right. Yep, you're right. So shift will remove the first element. So for each message that we get, we add it to the array. We create an li element for that message. We append it to our list, and then we want to go back on top and remove the first one in that list only if we've got more than 15 messages. So if messages.length is greater than 15, messages.shift, thank you, Dead Wisdom, we'll remove that first one. Then we go and get, we'll remove it from the array. Then we also need to remove it from the DOM. So we go to our message list, grab the first child, get a reference to it, and then use message list to remove that child. I don't think there's a better way of doing that. I think it is just a little bit convoluted. Which, by the way, how much, I guess I've saved a couple times, so there's not too many chats in here. All right. So here's the challenge. We have to get to 15 messages. So what do we got? Okay, somehow that makes sense. Good. See? Hopefully not too bad. Keep chatting. 1, 2, 3. Make it up to 15, and we'll see. So the first one, just so we're clear on what we're doing, this first one should go away after we get to 15. So we gotta keep going. I feel like this is part of the game too. of just like driving engagement in chat. Come on, come on. 9. I wonder if you're actually one. Is that right? Sending messages too quickly. Oh, does that happen? Does Twitch stop you from doing that? I think it might actually. I think you're right. Rate limited. Gotcha. That's funny. Ah, did you see that? It jumped. So we got rid of that first one. Let's do. Cool. It works. That's pretty great. I think. That's cool. That's like super simple. All right, what other? So we can style this a little bit now if we think that would be would make sense to do next. I don't want to get too deep into styling just because I'm not the best designer. Although if people in the chat want to like give me some design tips and stuff, please do. Yeah, make it pretty with CSS. Sweet. Harit says this is our new career, helping people test their code. Yes. All right. Cool. Let's do that. What is? Looks like we got a. Dang, my thing is so small I can't even see it. Is it a subscriber? Rats, that makes me sad that I can't see it. I'm sorry. And I can't even see like what name it is. There's bigger. Gustavo is now following. Thanks, Gustavo. Is Gustavo in the chat? Gustavo, he's in here. Sweet. And a decent font. All right, cool. So let's do app or create a new file app CSS. Did we get another one? Harik is following. Yes, thank you. Here's my appreciation sound. You ready? All right. You need a Twitch bot to put up a message on your page when someone subscribes. On what page? On this page? On my personal site? Or what do you mean, Dead Wisdom? Also, Dead Wisdom, did I figure out who you are? Or if we know each other at all? I don't know if we do or not, but everywhere but in your app. In the chat, I think he meant. Okay. I wonder how that would come through. All right, we'll test that. We'll do a little bit of styling. We don't. Cool. All right. Cool. Thanks for being here. Feel free to send me a message on Twitter. Are you the same username, Dead Wisdom? All right. In the meantime, comfy.onsub. Oh, sweet. Brantley Harris. Cool. Thanks, man. Let's actually try that really quick. I like that. Like that you sent that. So let's try this out. So one, I'm going to initialize this thing up here, and then I'm going to do a comfy JS dot on subscribe. Is that what you said? On sub. And let me look in. I'm going to look at the docs here for on sub just so I get all those. There it is. Yeah. Yep, thanks. You're on top of it. Oops, not there, but here. Paste that in. And I forgot the comfy JS equals. And then let's log the user and the message. I don't know what the message would be at that point. Like there's, and then I don't know what all the other things are. I'm not sure if there's a follow event on sub. Oh, so subscribe is the dang. Subscribe is the actual like paid thing, right? Like you can only subscribe to somebody if you pay, and unless you have an Amazon Prime account and you get one free subscribe per month. Is that right? Okay. So yeah, and I said that earlier of like asking somebody to subscribe, and I just meant follow. I'm not out here like asking people for money. So yeah, that would be nice if there was a follow. I mean, it should be in here, right? If there is on follow, looks like there's not. Let's go through. Maybe I'll zoom in on this window. So there's on command, on chat, on whisper, message deleted, on join. So I could send like a welcome message to people on part, hosted, raid. I could send a message for people at raid. I'm 15, almost 16. I just started coding. Super cool. Harik, that's awesome. Glad to hear that. And I'm really glad that you're here. Excited to learn and participating in the chat. So resub. So also when people use their free subscribe, because they have Amazon Prime, they subscribe to a channel and you get one a month. It like that's an income right on my end. Is that going to reoccur every month, or is that just for that 1 month that they subscribe? Like, do you only subscribe 1 month at a time? Does that make sense? No idea. Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure. Looks like there's no follow, so I'm just gonna stub this out and comment it out because I'm not expecting a lot of officials. Wow, what is that? Oh, wow. Prime is 1 month. Most other can be. Okay. Text expander is killing me. I like. Have people used text expander before? I have to change its settings because it's overriding one of my shortcuts that I use every day, and I don't even know how, to be honest. Rats. I'm gonna kill this so it doesn't get in my way right now. All right. So let's comment that out. Let's go into app CSS. Let's grab the messages list. Let's start with list style type none. So that'll get rid of our bullets. And just for testing here, I'm going to start off with our array of James Q Quick hello and James Q Quick testy test. That way I'll at least be able to see some stuff even before we actually do it. Did that work? Maybe it didn't. Why did? Oh, because we're not actually displaying them to. Dang it. Um, so I guess, all right, here's what I'll do. I'll call update. Do people understand what I'm doing? I'm just trying to seed like some information. Update messages with James Q Quick hello, and then duplicate that and say testy test, and then I think I'll have to move these down below the definition of that function. And I might put this in a const seed messages, just getting some dummy data in here, and it's going to call that thing twice. All right, let's see if this works. Oh, because we don't actually call seed messages. Seed messages. Yes, Harik, this is JavaScript. Yes. All right, so now we've got some test stuff in there, and it looks like the list style type none didn't take. That's because we're not referencing the CSS yet. So inside of here, we'll do a link for CSS and app CSS. What's the difference between between not const name equals? So the second thing that you referenced, like this thing, is an arrow function definition in JavaScript. So this is part of ES6, which came out in 2015. And it's kind of a shorthand to define functions. So basically, I'm creating a variable send messages, and its value is a function. And then, like you can see above here, this is just, instead of a function, it's a variable. Brad, welcome back. What did I decide a bit? So we've got a live chat thingy here, and we're just working on like styling it for now, and maxing it out at 10 chats is what we're doing. Yeah, did wisdom thanks. So the older or the original way would have been to define a function with like the function keyword like you got in the chat. So I use that to define something as a function. Yeah, so you're defining a variable that then, so const something equals is defining a variable. Then the arrow function is, yes, defining a function. Yep. So all right, style-wise, help me out here. What should we do? So probably want a little like margin, like maybe something small margin bottom 5px. We could give each of these. Oh, that's wrong. Not on the list, but on its children. Messages list li like that. So we got a little bit of no, you're not styling at ID. So I'm like new to this. Like that's a really bad thing. And I used the ID originally because I was accessing it in JavaScript. Fair enough. So let's do. Would you just give it the same class, the same as the ID, except for hyphenated? And all right, real quick for me and for everyone else that's in the chat, why BRB? Too much. Yeah, if you have a couple bullet points, Chris, throw those in there, or dead wisdom of why. It looks like this needs to change to a dot. It's slightly more portable. All right. I can read all of my chats over here. Best practice is to only use IDs for JS. Yep, IDs can be used once on a page as well. Yep. So is it just like it's portable in the sense that like if I were to need that class another time, I've got it, and then the styling is already there? Class, yeah. So I know the basics of, and that's good for people, especially as if they may not be familiar in the chat. I know those things certainly, but it's just like if for some reason I use it, and I feel like no, like all basic CSS tutorials like style IDs. I don't feel like anyone, but also basic tutorials don't do like debugging and error handling too. So that might just be like the problem. um, Anyway, okay, yep. And B Rob, who was on here earlier, I don't know if he's here now. Um, B Rob has gotten onto me for that as well. You could use messages list throughout your page where you can't. Yeah, um, but still, like here's devil's advocate is like in this thing. I know I'm not gonna do it again. So, but I get the point. All right, so basic tutorials lack a lot of semantics. Yeah, and basic tutorials lack a lot of everything. So I get it. All right, what styling suggestions do we have? Somebody come up with something creative and just tell me. Do we want like a border and do like a linear gradient, which I've never actually written myself, to be honest. What ideas do you have? Should we bold the username and change the font of it? Which one, Chris, for border and nice linear gradient padding? Sweet. All right, cool. Making progress. So on the list item, we'll do a border, 1 pixel solid. We'll do black for now just to stub it out. Padding, 4 pixels and 6 pixels. And now we have it going all the way across the screen. Maybe we can set a max width on the UL of 200 pixels, just to shorten it. Probably longer than that. 6, or maybe just like give it a width of 600 pixels, and then bold the username. So here's a question, and this is something that I like debate about a lot. So to do that, we would want to come into our JavaScript, and for this element, we want there to be a span inside of this thing. So what I'm going to do is pass the username and the message here to this function. So we'll do message and username. And then I'm going to set the inner text of this thing to span. All right. And then inside of that, I'm going to take the username property and then message. I think that will do it, right? Put that in a variable. Scoop. Does that make sense what I'm doing? This should, let's see, if I come back over, this should put, oh, it's because I'm setting in text in there. Why is this thing not coming through? Oh, user. So that should show, but we're getting the actual span tag. Actually, what? That doesn't look right. What am I doing wrong here? Span with the username in the middle. And this actually needs to be the HTML here, which is dangerous. What's the best way to do this? I guess, can you do a add child without an element? Like, can you just add text? So what I'm wondering is like, username span equals document create element span, and then username span inner text equals username, and then is anybody following what I'm doing at all? So I'm creating a span for the username, so that's it right there. And then we create the li element, and inside of the li element I want there to be the span object and then just a piece of text. So I wonder, can you do this? Li dot add, or what is add child? Append. So we'll add the username span, and then can I do a plus equals? Can you do that? Anybody know? If you can do this. It doesn't look very good. Where am I getting undefined twice from? Enter text. I don't think that would work, but maybe. Yeah, I'm not sure either. Oh, in this case, I'm not wrapping span. Um, in this case, I just want message. Right? I don't know why. Why is username coming as undefined? It would make another span for the message. Does it do that by default? I wonder. And why am I getting... Oh, because the first two, I'm not passing it like that. So, my seeding stuff. James, Q quick. That's why. James, Q quick. And then remove this stuff. All right, so this first couple, okay, cool. So that's all right. And then you're saying I should create a message span also. So const message span document create element span, and then message span inner text equals the message, and then take the li and append the username and the message span. Is that what we're saying? And get rid of that thing. We will see. Alright, so are these two covered in spans? Yep, 2 spans. Username, yep. So go in there next. So now with our username span dot class list dot add username, and gonna copy that thing, and this is the message span and message. Alright, looks like I broke something. Reference username, if I could spell username. I'm actually going to stand back up too. This is the thing that I do like all day long. I go back and forth between like sitting and standing. Oh. It's been a long time, by the way. It's been an hour and a half. Thank you everyone for being here again. This has been fun so far. We've got a lot of people that are new. If you're new in the chat and haven't said anything, jump in and let me know who you are and what you're interested in and all that kind of stuff. I want to move this thing down here. Yeah. All right. So we should have the 2 different spans with those. Yeah. Username and message. Cool. Okay. So we've got our border, and Chris said width of 60 rem. So now I think I'm gonna get like my real like check into like here's the best way that you should do all this stuff. All right, so there's 60 REM. That'll work. All right, what else? What other kind of styling do we have? I think we said that message, or actually the username, should be font weight of 700, and then maybe everything will have a font family of sans serif. So not going too fancy in here, but there's the bold and the regular text, and then I want to separate these by uh, by hyphen. So I actually need to inject that hyphen into here, something like that, and close it out. Sweet. Okay. What else we got? Fancy, styly people out here. How do you do a linear gradient? Linear gradient CSS. I kind of like that one right there, actually. Can I just rip that one off? I don't want this. Go away. Linear gradient. Or okay, so you set a background image to a linear gradient. I actually wouldn't have known that. So this is on the whole thing, which I haven't given a class name yet, and I should. I'll start with this here. Let's see what that looks like. Where are we? This one. That's kind of cool. And then I can change the color to a little off-white, and maybe font size. Let's do 1.8 rem instead of pixels, and that's okay. I think that's probably a little big, depending on what we use it for. All right, we still got people in the chat because I'm gonna quickly run out of like how good I am at designing stuff. And just, I'm going to send a test in here too to make sure this is still working. Cool. Still working. Yeah, I can't go too long making up my own stuff, unfortunately. We could get real fancy with transition, but might not work with timing, center in the browser, and add a background color. Center the whole thing in the browser. So, yeah, I would probably do dot container of padding 2 rem or something, max width of, I guess we only really want it to be the 600 pixels, so 600 pixels and margin 0 auto, and then I can get rid of the max width here, and you said 60 rem, and then I'll give the whole internet is slow today. Yeah, I think I just saw mine lag pretty bad. So let's wrap everything in a container, all that part. And apparently GitHub is super slow right now too. And then I just learned this. This is like mind blowing to me. There's padding inline start for the automatic padding that gets added for list items. Apparently, you can just do padding left. We'll see if that actually works. Yeah, so padding left will just get rid of that. So now that's gone. And I think I would want a little more padding just in general in these. So maybe like 6 and 10. Did that actually change? Go away tab. Yeah, 610. Cool. So that works. Yeah, the internet's slow and getting hacked so much right now. Yeah, well, I guess lots of people sitting at home not really knowing what to do. Kind of makes sense. Cool. All right, I'm getting close to winding down. Any other specific thoughts that we really want to see before we wrap up? Also, there's someone in the chat with like a bytecode name. That's kind of cool. Script Twitch chat app is getting hacked. It's not actually, right? Just because I'm using inner text instead of HTML, right? I think it's still okay. Yeah, you can. Thanks. By the way, I just realized I've got like a little bit of an overlapping. Oh, that's lame. Can I put that on top? Just realized I've got like an overlapping box that I don't know if does it change in real. Yeah, there. So that box just went away. It might look a little bit better than my actual stream. Minimal anti-hack. Yeah. Um, Sweet. I think I'm good. That was like a lot easier than I thought it would be. Honestly, that's pretty cool and really exciting. Just followed you on Twitter. Yay! Thank you. I appreciate it. Here's my my yeah sound effect. Got to figure out how to pipe that into the stream. Cool. I appreciate that. Any last thoughts at all before we wrap up? Thanks, by the way, for all the engagement and participating. I appreciate it. It's been a lot of fun. Any last thoughts? I think my dog's getting anxious to go outside too, so it's probably a good breaking point. Tomorrow, if you're interested, I'll be streaming at 11 a.m. Central Time. What I'm going to do is do an open AMA, Ask Me Anything, on the topic of a computer science degree, like a formal computer science university degree, versus a boot camp, like a programming boot camp, versus being self-taught, like YouTube and like Udemy courses and stuff like that. So I'm doing an open AMA tomorrow on those or that topic with those different categories. If you're interested, please stop by and ask some questions and kind of lead the conversation. I'm really excited about that one. It's something I like. I've got experience in all of them. I've got um, I've got a formal CS degree. I also feel like, well, I've taught a boot camp and I've like been around people that have gone to a lot of boot camps, and then I've also self-taught like a shit ton, to be honest. So I feel like I've been in each of those categories. So I'm really excited to talk about that. Chris says did a podcast about that a while back for Tales from the Script. Cool. Shout out to the podcast Tales from the Script. When's our episode going live, Chris? I haven't seen it out there. I checked recently, a couple days ago, I think. Flight Wizard says knew it was simple. I would have made myself a Twitch app too, chat app too. Yeah. So I think next steps for me is I've got some. I'll like develop this command system to be able to control something on the front end, and maybe it's like a snake thing, maybe it's not. I don't know. We'll see. Um, anyway, so that's the idea of kind of the next thing. One, I might formalize this into something that like I use on my channel. So the chat thing didn't seem to work in Streamlabs like I thought it would. So maybe I'll just use this and like make it a little bit more specific to me, and just like wrap that right in there, which I think would be fun. And then do something like controlling a game or something, just for that kind of engagement. Chris says zero motivation. Yeah, man, it's hard to get like excited about stuff right now. I have to fix mine and Jen's, and I'll get you yours. Cool, no worries. Let me know. In the meantime, for people, if you're interested, check out um, the Tales from the Script podcast. Does anyone in the chat have anything else that they would like to like self-promote? Shameless plugs, something you're proud of, anything you want to share? Throw it in the chat in the last couple of minutes before we wrap up here and sign off. Let me know. And while we're waiting on that, I can't remember. Did I actually push this or not? I don't. I think I did. Oh, Brian popped back in for the shameless plugs. Nice. So that's my Jamstack. Let me grab that link. Can I not copy it? There we go. Let's paste. That's my Jamstack. Is Brian's podcast on the Jamstack. I was on that back in like October, and then was part of like the holiday episode in December. So that was cool. So check out That's My Jamstack. And then Brian is also working on his first Egghead IO course. So that'll be good to keep an eye out for him there. Oh, no dark mode? What's dark mode? What do you mean? On my site or just in general? What do you mean, Brian? My site has dark mode, but I hate it. Logo fell. Yeah, that's off. How did I choose to do that? Like, where do you change from? Oh, there it is. Oh, gotcha. Okay. I don't think I chose that. I'm not sure. I might have. Yeah, that changes a good amount. Which that's going to be something that I add um, to my site. So keep an eye out for that. And what I was going to show on mine is I've now got a page for streaming where it shows my upcoming streams as well as my previous streams. So I still need to update this with all of my content. But you can see like it's showing the experiment with the Twitch API and the previous ones because it's the day of and we just finished. Actually, probably want to switch that to where it's previous on the day after, but regardless. And then I need to add all the ones for everything that I've got coming up, which I'm doing. I'll be streaming every Thursday at 2 p.m. Central, and then on Fridays I'm going to bring on a guest for a segment that I'm calling Learning Quick, and I'm trying to work on that image here. I kind of am inspired by Learn with Jason, um, something like this, and going to bring on guests to like go through and look at some technology. Dan Vega was on earlier. Brian has been on the or on the stream before. Definitely get him involved too. Chris will come on, and if anyone else is interested in joining me for that segment of the podcast, let me know. That will be Fridays at 11 a.m. Central, so you can be ready for that as well. So all of those I will be listing on myjamesqquick.com. Right now it's /live. I think I want to move that to streaming. I don't know what. If you have any suggestions, let me know. I think that's more of. I think streaming is more specific and makes more sense. Anyway, I'm rambling. Last thoughts. Any Thursdays could be quick hacks. Yeah, I like that. I might run with that brand actually, because on the schedule on Twitch, I think it just says hacking. So that would make sense. Um, any last self promotional things to throw in the chat? Last like 2 minutes. I feel like I keep saying this and I keep talking. And people are still here, so maybe it doesn't matter. But I'm really about to get off. I need like a countdown thing. Right. Oh, yeah. How recommended channels. How do you so the people that I follow are not on. There's a recommended channel. One is Ed Charbonneau, Lana Lux. Okay, that works. I don't know that I know who that is right now, um, but that works for me. Sweet. I will do that. Oh, well now I feel like I'm picking between. Um, he's streaming. All right, I'm gonna do Ed this time around. Because now I'm like stuck between two people. Um, how many? And I think Ed has significantly less. Let me open up his right now. It looks like the viewers on his is around 27. So all right, I'm gonna rate to his just because he's got lower. Thanks everyone for being here. I appreciate it. I had a lot of fun. Tomorrow, 11 a.m. Central, talking about college, computer science degree, boot camp, and self-taught AMA. Thursdays at 2 p.m. Central. Fridays at 11 a.m. Central. Hopefully, I'll see you in some more ones in the near future. And thanks again for coming. And I will raid us over to Ed. Crap, do I have to type this whole thing out myself? I don't get IntelliSense for this. Charbonneau. Hopefully this is right. Did it work? I think we're leaving. See you, everyone.